Imagine this. You walk into a shelter and see two kittens. One is a ginger little rascal who has already knocked over a bowl and yanked the tail of the kitten next to him. The other is a small grey tabby sitting quietly in the corner, watching everything with careful attention. You think, well, personality is personality. And in part, you are right. But behind that first impression lies something far deeper: biology, hormones, instincts, and thousands of years of evolution that make male and female cats truly different creatures. No, this is not a story about one being better than the other. It is a story about how understanding those differences can help you become a better owner and choose the exact pet that is right for you. Let's start with the obvious, though it is not as simple as it seems. Male cats are, on average, larger than female cats. An adult, unneutered male usually weighs between 4 and 6 kilograms, and some breeds can weigh even more. Females are generally more delicate, usually ranging from 2.5 to 4 kilograms. But this is not an absolute rule. A large female Maine Coon can easily outweigh an average male alley cat. What is more interesting is growth and maturation. Female cats reach sexual maturity as early as 4 to 6 months. Males do so a little later, at around 6 to 8 months. However, full physical maturity in males can take as long as 3 to 4 years. This matters. A young male cat that has turned 1 year old is still not a fully finished product. He is still developing, both physically and behaviorally. The head is a story of its own. In unneutered male cats, what are often called tomcat cheeks develop over time, a distinctive rounding of the face caused by the growth of jaw muscles and skin folds. This is neither fat nor a disease. It is a hormonal marker, a natural signal to other male and female cats. I am here, I am grown, and I am a serious rival. This is where things get really interesting. An unneutered male cat is a creature literally flooded with testosterone. It is testosterone that drives him to mark his territory. And yes, that smell is one of the most persistent in nature and is nearly impossible to remove with ordinary cleaning products. It is testosterone that pushes him into nighttime adventures, fights with neighborhood cats, and insistent singing under the window of a female he has taken an interest in. An unneutered male can detect a female in heat from as far as 3 kilometers away. 3 kilometers, and nothing will stop him. A female cat lives by a different hormonal rhythm. Her cycle is defined by heat, which repeats every 2 to 3 weeks during the breeding season, and for cats living indoors under artificial lighting, that season can last almost all year round. During heat, a female becomes loud, restless, clingy, rolls on the floor, and quite literally calls out to the world. This is not a whim and not an illness. It is an extremely powerful biological imperative. Spaying and neutering change this picture dramatically. After the procedure, the behavior of both sexes becomes much more similar, which is exactly why most veterinarians recommend doing it before the first heat or the first season of sexual activity, usually at around 4 to 6 months. Male cats are independent, female cats are affectionate. You have heard this hundreds of times. It is a myth. The truth is far more interesting and far more complex. Studies by animal behavior specialists show that a cat's personality is determined not by sex, but by 3 main factors, and sex plays a much smaller role. These factors are genetics, meaning who the parents are, early socialization during the first 7 weeks of life, and individual experience. A kitten that was held from birth, played with, and introduced to people and everyday sounds will grow up social regardless of sex. A kitten raised in isolation or exposed to stress will grow up fearful or wild, again regardless of sex. And yet certain tendencies do exist. Male cats more often show what owners describe as a good-natured or easygoing temperament. They are usually less inclined toward subtle social maneuvering, more straightforward in expressing what they want, and often more tolerant of unfamiliar people. If they want food, they sit by the bowl. If they want affection, they climb into your lap. Many owners of male cats say, "He goes to everyone," without much hesitation or judgment. Female cats are different. They are more selective. They observe before they approach. They build a hierarchy of trust. Earning a female cat's affection can be harder, but when it happens, many owners feel that the bond is deeper and more intentional. A female cat chooses you. That is not an accident. If you are planning to have several pets, sex matters a great deal. Unneutered male cats are classic territorial fighters. 2 such males in one home will almost certainly turn your life into chaos with the smell of marking, fights, and constant stress for both animals. After neutering, aggression usually decreases significantly, although individual likes and dislikes do not disappear. Female cats are territorial in their own way. They do not fight as openly. Instead, they coldly ignore one another, block access to resources such as the food bowl, the litter box, or a favorite spot on the couch, and create invisible zones of tension that owners often fail to notice. In female cats, stress caused by poor compatibility can even show up as illness. For example, idiopathic cystitis, which is directly linked to the animal's emotional state. The best combinations for peaceful coexistence are usually male and female pairs that have both been sterilized and raised together from an early age. Another good option is 2 kittens from the same litter regardless of sex, because they already know one another and accept each other as family. Health, what every owner should know. Here, the differences are not just an interesting fact, but a matter of life and death. Male cats are much more likely to suffer from urinary stones and urethral blockage. Anatomically, the urethra in males is longer and narrower, so a stone or a mucus plug can block it completely. This is a life-threatening emergency that requires immediate veterinary care. Every owner of a male cat should know the warning signs without exception. If the cat keeps going to the litter box but cannot urinate, cries out, or sits in a sphinx-like posture in the litter box, time is running out. The situation can become fatal within hours. Female cats are more vulnerable to risks connected to the reproductive system, including pyometra, which is a pus-filled infection of the uterus that often requires emergency surgery, mammary cancer, and complications during pregnancy and childbirth. Spaying before the first heat reduces the risk of mammary cancer by nearly 90%, which is one of the strongest arguments in favor of the procedure. The life expectancy of sterilized animals of both sexes is, on average, 3 to 5 years longer than that of unsterilized animals, and this has been confirmed by large-scale veterinary studies. The main reasons are reduced hormonal stress, the absence of reproductive system infections, and fewer outdoor risks, since sterilized cats are far less likely to run outside looking for fights or mates. Here is one of the most astonishing facts about cats, and almost nobody knows it. Tricolor cats with white, orange, and black fur are almost always female. Almost always. The gene for orange coloring is linked to the X chromosome. Females have 2 X chromosomes, and both can switch on different color variations, creating a mosaic pattern. Males have only 1 X chromosome, so they are either orange or not, but not both at the same time. A tricolor or tortoiseshell male cat is a genetic rarity. This happens because of an XXY anomaly, and such male cats are usually infertile. The occurrence is about 1 in 30,000. If you are lucky enough to have one, you have a true genetic phenomenon living in your home. Orange cats, by contrast, are more often male, at roughly a ratio of 3 to 1. That is exactly why there are noticeably more orange male cats in the world than orange female cats. Who should you choose? The honest answer is this: do not look for the answer in sex. Look for it in personality. If you want a pet that easily makes contact, accepts guests, and forgives your busy routine, pay attention to the individual kitten, not the label in its documents. If what matters to you is a deep emotional bond, and you are willing to earn that trust, then a female cat may turn out to be your ideal companion. But the most important thing to remember is this: every male cat and every female cat carries within them millions of years of evolution, a completely unique life experience, and a personality that can never be fully reduced to any simple pattern. Sex is one variable in the equation. An important one? Yes, but not the only one. Get to know the pet. Watch how it responds to you. Give it time to show you who it is. Because in the end, the best male cat or female cat is the one that chooses you just as much as you choose it. And when that happens, sex no longer matters at all.